So since the coronavirus pandemic has started, I have been in this amazing situation. I was house sitting for a friend before the pandemic started, and she ended up not coming back to her place, and she needed me here and I wanted to be here, so I've just been here for the duration, and I've been really, really lucky to be here. Every morning after my meditation, after my affirmations, I've just expressed my gratitude over and over, and the universe was finally like, okay, that's enough, we get it, you're grateful. But seriously, there hasn't been one day that I haven't been thankful to be here. Had a conversation with my friend a couple of days ago. She said, yeah, you're there for the next few months. You're there for the duration. So I sort of psychologically, I put my roots down that much deeper and just sort of settled in that much more and was looking forward to being here again for the duration. Well, the next morning I got an unexpected phone call, total 180. I can't be here because of some things that I won't go into, and I gotta leave. So of course it felt a little bit as though, the carpet were being yanked out from under me, but I just decided, I have no control over this situation. I just got to go with it. So I was talking to a neighbor next door and she said, wow, I can't believe that you're just being so zen about having to leave. And my response was, well, I don't know if I'm being zen or not, but again, this is a situation over which I have no control. So what's the point of resisting? If I resist things over which I have no control, in this case having to move back to the city, and by the way, my situation in the city, it's not nearly as good as here. There are going to be some challenges. It is going to be challenging in some ways, but I have my own place. I have a little outdoor space. So compared to what most people or many people are going through, my situation in the city is great. So to be clear, I'm not going from here, this great situation, to some horrible situation. It's just going to be less desirable and a little more challenging, but it's still a fine situation. So given that I have no control over the situation, if I were to resist, it's just going to make it that much worse with regards to creating anxiety, resentment, anger, frustration. So what's the point? What's the point? That doesn't serve me at all. Whether or not I'm zen about it, it just is what it is. And so I'm more just practical about it. From a practical standpoint, it doesn't make sense to get upset, to resist. I could try to figure out a way to stay or that sort of thing, but again, it would be just counterproductive and just produce all of this unnecessary negativity. There's a quote in my novel, A Voice Beyond Reason. What was done was done. In his ostensible powerlessness, an improbable and empowering freedom. The freedom in this situation is freedom from all that negativity that would result if I were to resist what I have no control over. It's freedom from that anxiety. It's freedom from that unnecessary frustration. All of that negativity that could come up if I were to allow it to. It's freedom from all of that. The empowerment comes from just trusting and having faith that since I have no control over this move, this transition, then it must ultimately be in my greater good. Now, my greater good can take two forms. That's not to say it's going to be better after the transition in the sense of my situation. Again, where I am right now is just fantastic. But my greater good in the sense of maybe there are challenges that I need to be facing right now that I'm going to face when I go back to my place. And so maybe there are lessons to be learned from going to this less desirable situation. So for my greater good in that sense, that's the first way. Second way though is maybe there are certain benefits that are going to result. I mean, for example, I was planning on recording the audiobook version of my novel and also my humor book the month of April. Well, I haven't been able to do that here because there's no studio, but I have a studio at home where I can do the audiobook. So that's just one way in which actually leaving here and going back home could be very beneficial, or actually will be very beneficial. And undoubtedly, there are more ways that I can't even foresee yet because I'm not there. The empowerment comes from just that faith and just that trust that even though I don't see exactly how things are going to work out, I know that they're going to. And I know that there are going to be some challenges from which I'm going to learn. There are going to be some benefits that I don't have here now to actually going back to my own place. Coming full circle, I don't know how zen I'm being about the situation, but it is true that I'm not resisting, that I'm just going with it. I'm trusting that this is what needs to happen, and I'm just letting it all unfold. In the meantime, I continue to feel just extremely grateful that I've got to spend the time here that I have, and I'm going to relish the few days that I have here remaining. And finally, I'm just going to trust that what follows after this unexpected upcoming transition, I'm going to trust that what follows is exactly what I need as I go into my next phase and whatever that turns out to be.